guys, Kiki Kannon here with Kannon Studios. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how I resin printed these bracers for a Zelda costume that I am working on. So if this is something you're interested in, please stick around. I am also back to be creating new videos weekly, so feel free to subscribe. And thank you everyone who has already been supporting. I appreciate it. Starting off, I created my patterns using masking tape and saran wrap, which then I transferred onto paper to sketch my designs, and then I brought it into Blender to 3D model my bracers. This was the first bracer set that I had ever resin printed, so it was a new experience for me. So I did do the design differently than I have on any other bracer sets I've made previously. This design is primarily based on Zelda's Super Smash Bros. Design. However, you will notice some changes and variations because this design is a mashup where I'm taking various Zelda costumes and designs throughout other games and putting them together. So this was before I had my Jupiter, so I had to print one side at a time. So I did clean them up, prime, paint them. I was struggling with getting these fibers continually in my paint job. It was very frustrating. I think I finally figured out the culprit. So I did have to do some sanding and repainting, which was really frustrating, but sometimes it's just part of the process with cosplay. Things don't always work out, but you eventually figure them out. These were the gems that I resin printed that I was going to use, but they just weren't coming out as I wanted them to. So I printed out these instead, which I would be making molds of, and then resin casting my gems, which I also have a video on if you want to check that out. So here's the molds for all of the gems. So I did have to do some cleanup around the gems and just sand the edges to make sure there isn't any sharp edges. For the larger gems, I was at least able to polish them up to make them nice and shiny. And for this, I decided to go with nail polish and paint the backs for the effect that I wanted. And I resin casted all my gems clear and polished them on the tops and painted various nail polish colors on the back to achieve the different varying gem colors that I wanted. This was particularly hard when the gems got really tiny to like the 1mm size. So before gluing all of the gems on, I have to scrape away at the paint to make sure that it has something to attach to. Because if I just glue it onto the paint, it could easily come off and take the paint off with it, and I would lose my gems. overall, I am super happy with how everything came out. They are connected magnetically, and I also have slits for when I sew in the bands to help secure, to make sure that they stay on. So if they do pop loose, the bands will help keep them on. And they should just snap back together. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching the whole video. I really do appreciate it. It does help and support me. If you're interested in more content, please feel free to subscribe. I should be back to posting once every week. I had taken basically most of last year off, and I am just now catching up, so I am happy to be back.